Well, if you're anxious to get out and about in St. Louis, we have some ideas for you. That's coming up next on City Corner. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to City Corner. Well, whether it's a jazz concert or an art show or maybe a picnic in Grand Center, there are a lot of fun options for you coming up, believe it or not, in St. Louis. Mike O'Conachie from Healthy Planet Magazine is here to bring us up to date. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hanging in there. Listen, my last memory of you, you were on the show, I guess it was in the beginning of the year, January or February, doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And right after we did the show about upcoming events that everything sort of hit the fan. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Do you think we can turn things around now by this show, maybe?
I'm going to try. How has it been for you, though, working for Healthy Planet Magazine, reporting on the arts? Since March, so many things have been canceled and just didn't come off. So it must have affected what you do a lot.
Well, we're still reporting on the arts. Healthy Planet has gone all virtual. So we're virtual online at thehealthyplanet.com because people weren't going out to pick up the magazine. So we're strictly virtual. But Steve, I've been reporting on the arts the whole time because you really just have to applaud the arts. We all have to say thank you, because they're the ones who really stepped up. I mean, imagine being locked up like we've been without music or without books or without artwork or activities. And many arts organizations put things online almost immediately, that you could tour museums all around the world virtually. You could do art projects. I got hooked back in March. Alvin Ailey Dance Company, we love Alvin Ailey, right? Through Dance St. Louis here in St. Louis, they released a YouTube video with one of their veteran dancers, Hope Boykin, that you can learn some of the moves to their famous Revelations performance. And I think I talked about that the last time I was on your show, about Revelations was coming to St. Louis. And like everybody loves to be a dancer, right? Especially if nobody's watching. So it's been a great workout. And that's why I say thank you to the arts, because they've kept us all sane through all this, huh?
Well, I'm glad you can't see me dance when I do.
Same here.
And you said everything gone virtual, which is true. For some people, probably maybe, I don't want to categorize, but older people, it's sort of a new technology in a way to rely on it so heavily. Mm-hmm. So I imagine for some people, it's been a struggle.
It has been, I'm afraid. Without internet connection, you're just really a little bit more isolated. But we still have books, you still have some music, TV, you can watch, movies and things. So there's still some activities that you can do, but the internet's been wonderful, truly has.
Well, Mike, you picked out some things that are going on in the next, I guess, between now and the end of the year, pretty much. And you're going to recommend them to us. And I wanted to start with something that I'm not familiar with, so I'm anxious to hear about it. Something called Missouri Art Safe, S-A-F.
That's right. Missouri Art Safe. And this is a new program that was started by Missouri Arts Council in conjunction with Missouri Arts Council. And I want everybody to look for the logo. It's the Mona Lisa wearing a mask. And it says Missouri Art Safe. It's a training program and a certification process. And so Missouri Arts Council has stepped up and is providing safe practices and procedures for coronavirus to keep us all safe as things open back up, as you want to go to a theater, you want to go to a performance or a museum. And so if you look for this logo, either at venues or on websites of different organizations, if you see that logo, you know that they and all the performers or artists that are with them have been trained and are practicing those safe practices. So you'll feel a little better about attending those art shows or those museums, theaters, etc. So look for that.
I haven't been to any of that, believe it or not. Have you been to a theater? I'm wondering are there so many empty seats between people? Is that how it works?
No, I hate to admit it. No, I'm a little chicken. I have not. I'm enjoying everything online. Whether it was the Muni this summer watching their online performances or, theaters, I've just done it online. I feel better that way. I'm of that age,
Unfortunately, I do. Hey, listen, I think you mentioned classes. I know Coca is famous for their classes. I'm wondering how all this has affected what they do.
Well, they have a new building. They've enlarged their building over there right off Delmore. They're on Trinity Avenue, right off the loop. And they've just done all kinds of renovations and expansions, but they're just now going back to some classes in person. They're offering adult classes, both in person and virtual. So you can do virtual things too. And then for children, they're offering virtual classes, Magnificent Me, and that's a smorgasbord where little kids can try all different arts activities. They tell you in advance what you need to have on hand. And then Artist Explorer is targeting a little bit more directly to painting or to sculpture or to drawing. So kids can really work on that, but they can work on it at home. So all virtual, which is nice and safe, and supplements their educational experiences too. So
Yeah,
those are up right now in Coca.
I really feel for little kids because I think interaction is so important for them in the learning process and everything. Like for someone you already mentioned our age. For someone like me, quarantining is not such a big deal. But when you're young and you're learning, that interaction is part of it. So that really has impacted them.
Yeah, we don't know how that's going to be, do we? Wait and see.
How about the International Photography Hall of Fame and Museum?
And, I like to mention them because sometimes they're not on everybody's radar. They're on Olive, tucked back behind, this is not a plug, but behind Vito's Pizzeria, back there in the Grand Center. And they do present all kinds of exhibitions from time to time, but lately they've been doing a lot of photography workshops. Most of their workshops are 3-day workshops online. But they have 2 biggies coming up. One is September 19th from 10 to 11:15 in the morning, so just one day, and it's on American photography by Stan Strambicki. And he's done 2 long-term projects. One was photographing Mardi Gras down in New Orleans throughout the years, and the other is a 15-year project he's worked on of photographing Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath and the reconstruction, etc. So that's one. And the other one is October 1st, and it's called Bearing Witness, an introductory to American documentary with John Cairns. And he's going to be going through the whole history of American documentary photography. Again, one day, all online. So you can do it at home in your jammies if you want. There's a nominal fee for their workshops. Members pay about $5 and non-members pay about $10. But it is a really great educational opportunity for adults.
And I know sometimes you like to hop across the river, don't you?
Yeah, over in your neighborhood, right? Alton, aren't you over?
You're a big fan of Vito's Pizza, but I'm partial to the Jacoby Arts Center.
Oh, yeah. Good old Jacoby. They've got some things coming up, and they have their Saturday make and take sessions. They're on Saturdays from 10 to noon. They want you to call ahead, but they've got one coming up on felting, teaching children and families how to beat the wool and shape it and make felt. So if you come in person, make reservations and wear your mask. But if you'd rather, you can contact them in advance and request a kit, and they'll have one all prepared for you to pick up and take and work at home. So either way, either in person or at home at Jacoby on Saturdays.
It's funny you mention that because right next door to Jacoby, Alton Marketplace, that's an organization, are getting ready to start an outdoor, like a drive-in movie theater. They have an inflatable movie screen, and people are going to be able to stay in their cars and hear the movies through their radios in their cars. And that's right next to the Jacoby. So
How cool. Bring back the drive-ins, huh?
Right. Hey,
it works.
Anything in the world of dance that's still happening?
Oh, of course. Karlofsky and Company is one of my favorites, and they're art safe. They've already passed their Missouri art safe certification, and they're presenting Dine on Dance performances, and it's a lunchtime performance on September 18th, so noon to 1. in Strauss Park, right across, kind of catty-corner from the Fox in Grand Center. This is a free performance, so it doesn't cost anything. Just bring your mask and wear it, and maybe bring a bag lunch. And their dancers or professional dance companies going to perform for you for free outside. So that's on September 18th.
Well, dance is good, photography is good, but I guess with all this quarantining, I guess picnics are totally out, right?
Oh, we're supposed to be outside and get all that fresh air. And so picnics on the Plaza are coming up. And they're presented by the Sheldon in cooperation with Channel 9. And it's going to be in the Stewart Family Plaza. That's right between where the Sheldon is on Washington, and it backs up to Channel 9 KETC. So there's a nice space there. You have to order in advance. So here's what's coming up. You can order a boxed dinner, either fried chicken or a vegetarian option. You can order wine, a bottle of wine in advance, or there will be a cash bar, or a bar there, not cash, all credit cards only. You must make a reservation in advance. $20 for 2 people. So dinner and the show, $20, can't beat that. Or you can bring up to 4 people. 4 people is $40 for the 4 people. They didn't tell me if you have 3 people, so I don't know what you do with 3. Find a friend. At any rate, there's no tickets sold that night, so do this in advance. September 12th, we're going to have the Western Satellites, and they are cool. Bass and a guitar, a dobro, vocals and flute, and they perform American roots and swing music. September 19th is Janet Avra, and she's a vocalist, a composer, songwriter, and she blends bossa nova, samba, and Latin jazz. The songs will be in English, in Portuguese, in Espanol, and in Francais. Wonderful. And September 25th is Hudson and the Hoodoo Cats. And if you don't know Hudson and the Hoodoo Cats, they're just St. Louis wonderful. They do Texas rock and blues, country, rockabilly, and swing. So
that sounds really good. But we've got some more ideas too, Mike. So you hang on there. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with more City Corner and things to do right after this.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Oh, have you seen that piece on the Tiffany neighborhood on STL TV?
No.
Let me show you.
My wife and I were looking for homes. We lived in the city all of her life, and there's just a different energy when you're in the city.
Keep up with what's happening in your neighborhood. Watch STL TV. Be in the know.
Action!
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
Selfie. Nailed it.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods and 108 beautiful city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and the gorgeous Tower Grove Park right here.
And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. So come and experience St. Louis.
I'm Steve Potter, and welcome back to City Corner. Michael Konecki is our guest today. She is the arts editor of Healthy Planet magazine, and she's here with sort of previewing things that are still happening, activities you can do and enjoy. And Mike, before we get back to that real quickly, I just wanted to talk about you just a little bit. As people probably know, you are Stone Hollow Studios, and you do all kind of artwork and stuff. I'm just wondering how this has affected you as an artist. The whole quarantine thing?
Well, it made an impact. Many of the shows starting in March were either canceled or postponed, but fortunately a lot of them went virtual, and which is kind of nice. So there's still some coming up this fall. For example, Missouri Botanical Garden hosts the Best of Missouri Market every year, the first weekend in October. And so in order to accommodate and to practice social distancing, they're going to have fewer exhibitors this year. They're not going to have the big circus tents, just small individual tents. But many of the exhibitors, myself included, have opted to do the virtual market. So they're going to have our work that you'll be able to view online, and connections. You can find all that at mobot.org/market, and they'll have all that up. Several other art festivals are doing the same thing. Art St. Louis, St. Louis Art Fair that's coming up the first weekend this coming weekend right after Labor Day. They'll have virtual art fair. Four Big Bridges down in Kentucky went all virtual this year also. So there's a lot of them that you'll just do the search. So if there's a favorite fair you used to go to, look it up online, and chances are you'll find a virtual link to see the same artwork if you can't get there.
Well, you're at home, obviously, and although you're not in your studio, but behind you, I believe that is some of your artwork.
It
what
is.
What are you looking at back there?
It is. I like to do my artwork when I travel, and these are all pen and inks that I did in Europe. So yeah, and so lately I've been doing some paintings. In fact, I've got some paintings and some exhibits that are running right now that we'll talk about in a little bit.
All right, you probably have a website, don't you? People can look at it.
It is stonehollowstudio.com.
All right. Hey, let's go back to preview some things coming up in the St. Louis area that are exciting. And how about jazz?
Jazz St. Louis. This is their 25th anniversary. Do you believe it? Huh. And so, jazz musicians got to throw a party. So on October 2nd, there is a whiz bang of a 25th anniversary party led by Gene Dobbs Bradford. Well, starts at 6:30 in the evening. There's a pre-party, there's a party, and there's an after party, and it's going to cost nothing. Anybody wants to attend just has to go online and register, and it's a free virtual party. You're going to hear some of the best jazz entertainers. You got to bring your own drinks, but it's okay. Anyway, so go to jazzstl.org before October 2nd and register, because this is a party you don't want to miss.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that a lot of artists I'm just curious, a lot of artists, the current COVID pandemic and all that, is that being reflected in their work?
It really is. Right now there's two exhibitions running. One is Global Impact, and that is at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles. Their exhibition runs through September 25th, and you can see it in person. It's in all their main galleries, or you can view it online also virtually. And they're hosting 65 works from around the world. And I have one included, of paintings and sculptures and things that kind of express the wake of COVID and how work is being impacted and how artists are working. So that's at the Foundry in St. Charles. They'll have a closing reception on September 25th. So the public is welcome to attend, but masks are required. And the numbers in the building may be limited at that time. The other exhibition is This Moment, and that is being hosted by Art St. Louis. It is a totally virtual exhibition. It's really cool because when you look at it, it feels like you're in a gallery. They've done it so you walk through and see all the images. That runs until September 15th. And out of 108 submissions, they chose 48 works from regional artists that express the impact or significant or complications, emotions, just everything that people are feeling during this pandemic. Some are hopeful, some are sad, but the whole exhibition is really powerful. So go to Art St. Louis and then click on Now Showing and you can view that whole exhibition.
You know, I think I have to laugh. I think I mispronounced, I think I said covoid for some reason instead of COVID. And I was thinking, and I said, maybe that was a subliminal kind of thing I was thinking, because COVID has certainly produced a void in our lives, artistic and otherwise.
Yeah, it's true. It really is true. It's just changed everything. These exhibitions too, when you see the work that artists are producing, I think we're living in a really historic time, and they're trying to express those feelings that everybody is going through right now.
Well, Mike, being an artist yourself and working on the magazine, I'm sure that you're in contact with a lot of artists, and I'm just wondering, you know, what about those artists that maybe rely on their art for income? They're probably in as bad shape as restaurant owners.
Definitely, because many artists are, if they're performers, they're referred to as gig artists, so they're paid by the job. And for virtual or visual artists, if you don't sell your artwork, if you're not able to market it, who's going to buy it? And then who has the money to buy it right now? Because so many people are out of work. So yeah, they're being terribly impacted. And for that reason, I'm really, in my column, I'm really pushing it this month to, when you're thinking about any gifts, buy from artists, support them, support these organizations that support the artists, because everybody's suffering. And I think we're going to see a lot of artists that perhaps can't come through it, that are going to have to look for other sources of income. And it's a shame. It's a shame to lose it. Yeah, so we want to support them as much as we can.
Yeah, it is. I mentioned restaurant people too, and I've eaten more takeout restaurant food lately for the same reason that you said. I'm trying to support an industry I know is really suffering, as are artists. So I guess
here too, especially locally owned. Locally owned is important. We want to keep them in our communities.
Absolutely. The Great Rivers Biennial is the focus of something coming.
And that's at the Contemporary Art Museum on Washington. That comes up just once a year, and this year it'll open on September 11th. And it's open on weekends. To attend on Saturday or Sundays, they ask that you please make a reservation. There's no charge to attend the Contemporary, but they do want you to either call or email ahead and make a reservation, and masks are required. This year, the works featured are by Khalil, Robert Irving, Tom Portlick, Rachel Yown, and Ebony G. Patterson. So you want to be sure to see those. Haven't heard yet. They usually post some things online. I don't know if it'll be a full virtual exhibition, but Contemporary is big and spread out. So just make your reservation.
Yeah. And the Pulitzer Foundation for the Arts. You mentioned what was going on at the Sheldon. Pulitzer is around the corner.
It's next door to the Contemporary. It's in between the two. Yeah, right. You gotta go see the building. If you've not been there, the building's awesome. But this is wonderful, and it's been extended through September 13th, and fingers crossed, maybe they'll extend this a little farther. Imagine this, you and up to 10 friends, well, 9 friends. So you and up to 9 friends can go to the Pulitzer all by yourself for free for 45 minutes, the whole museum to yourself. Isn't that wonderful? That's how there's social distancing. So you have this entire museum just for you, or up to 10 people total, but only people you know. You gotta wear your mask, and they will clean everything, all high touch areas, etc. And then you have to leave after 45 minutes, and the next group comes in. Isn't that cool? When do you get a museum to yourself?
Yeah, I think it's really amazing the ingenuity that some of these people have come up with to keep this sort of stuff vital.
Oh, absolutely. And while you're at the Pulitzer, right across the street was a vacant lot, part of a parking lot, and they've taken that and opened it into this gorgeous exotic park, and it's called Park Like. So there's some plantings, there's some artwork in it. The idea is just stroll around outside, get some fresh air, which is what we should all do now. So you can still get that nice peaceful feeling right there. So all in one place.
Mike, I've got one thing left on my list, and that's Laumar.
Mm-hmm. Laumar Sculpture Park. Again, you know, we got to get outside, and that's good and healthy. So they have commissioned Van McElwee, I never say his name right, McElwee, to create something called Time Fork is the name of his creation. And it opens October 11th, so you got to wait a little bit, but it'll run all winter through May 9th. Laumar is right out in Sunset Hills on Rott Road. Okay, so Van used a drone to fly over Laumar, get an idea of the territory, and then he imagined what kinds of structures could be put in that space. So when you get there, you're going to download this app on your phone, and as you walk through the park, your phone's going to show you these imagined structures that could be there, but they really aren't. But he's designed the entire park with these structures. So kind of a merging of, the 21st century and maybe like the, who knows, 25th century. It's pretty high tech, but should be a lot of fun. And I know the whole family will enjoy this one too.
Well, Michael Connick, thank you from taking time out of Healthy Planet Magazine and Stone Hollow Studios to join us today. It's good to know there's still life going on out there. We just have to adjust the rules a little bit and keep learning and exploring and having fun, right?
That's absolutely right. Thanks for having me on, Steve.
All right, Mike, come back down the road and we'll do this again.
We will. Bye now.
I'm Steve Potter. You at home, be safe. Get out and be safe. We'll see you next time on City Corner. Thanks for watching.